Hey guys, it's Guy and Girl Nerd Duo. I'm Frank.
I'm Karrie.
And today we're talking about Season 2 of The Flash.
If you're not caught up on Season 2 of The Flash, this is your spoiler warning.
Yes, and people are confused because Barry goes back in time to save his mother.
So what do you think that means, though? That Barry has gone back and has actually saved his mother this time, which we saw him think about it, attempt to do at the end of last season, but decided against it at the very last moment. But now he's actually gone and done it. What does that mean?
A lot of people who have died are obviously going to come back. So the mother is obviously going to be there. Henry Allen's going to be there. Ronnie will probably show up.
I hope so.
I think it's going to throw a curveball and everything.
Actually, a thought I just had, which would be really twisted and really sad for Barry, is if whatever happens in Season 3, just imagine what would happen if Nora still dies. You know, or maybe he goes back to the present day and she still died somehow or for some reason. Like, I think that would be really devastating. Or at least if it happens, if it happens like later on in the season, just to for Barry to understand that, like, if something's meant to happen, it will. Whether it happens now or later, if it's meant to happen in your lifetime.
They'll go back to that whole theory of time travel of the past does not want to be changed. And they'll find a way to correct itself. I have a feeling Barry's probably going to go back in the past again to prevent himself from saving his mother.
Is that like 4 flashes in that one house that night?
I'm sure of it, yeah.
Or 5, actually.
5. Because it's the original, it's
the Flash that saves Barry. It's actual Barry. It's the Flash in Season 1 at the end that goes and tries to stop himself.
Right.
And it's the Flash at the end of Season 2. Wait, that's 4.
And Barry is a little kid. So 5.
5 Barrys. Well, 5 Grant Gustins is sort of my dream, so.
If we can get more Patty and Killer Frost, I'm good for that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited because it really does open up the possibility of bringing back a lot of the characters that we've lost and that we used to love, and hopefully we'll get to see again. Yes,
we're going to see the original Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash Harrison Wells, so that would be interesting to see again.
Yeah, and I wonder if that means Eddie's going to come back.
I'm for sure. Barry will probably come back to Iris and Eddie's wedding or something.
What did you think of the reveal of Jay being Zoom?
It was kind of surprising. I wasn't expecting it was him, but some Timbits throughout some of the episodes.
Did you say Timbits?
Yes!
Timbits! No, I love that. That's hilarious. Continue.
No, they actually threw in a little bit of storyline to give it away that it was him, right? Because you do see his doppelganger and you're thinking, well, why does his doppelganger have a different name than he does on Earth 1, whereas everybody else has the same name? Actually, I find this season to be this season gave a lot away in terms of what was going to happen in storyline. So you had the Hunter, Jay Garrick kind of thing that set up Zoom, and then you had the fact that when Henry Allen came back and said, well, I'm here for good, you realized he was going to die, and then once he said that, well, my mother's maiden name was Garrick, then it kicked in that, oh, the guy under the mask in Earth 2 is actually Henry Allen, but is the real Jay Garrick.
But from Earth 3.
But from Earth 3, yeah, which is interesting. But at the same time, it kind of I predicted that way before Henry Allen died when he first said his mother's maiden name was Garrick. I knew right away, like, oh, okay, it's obvious that way.
For the first episode that the time wraiths showed up, I thought that was a little bit strange and a little bit different from what they've usually done in the Flash. But then, of course, they come back in the finale, and you realize that they were even setting that up so many episodes before.
Right. And obviously Zoom's not dead. He's going to come back. Which is great about the show because they bring back characters in these unique ways.
Yeah.
Like Eddie was back when Barry went back in time to find out how he can get more speed. and Eddie was there, which was interesting because you haven't seen Eddie in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And even with Earth 2, where you see the characters, not just characters from this show, but they had Deadshot. You see him in there, and it's like, yes, Deadshot. And they made fun of him that he can't aim.
Yeah,
right?
it's so funny. I love that.
So I like how this show brings in those characters in these unique ways.
Like anytime Barry has a moment with his mother, or in some capacity, or is upset about his mom, and that scene in when he's interacting with the Speed Force, who is disguised or appearing as his mother. And honestly, this is why I love Grant Gustin as the Flash. And if you've watched our Batman vs Superman review, I am very passionate about the fact that Grant Gustin is the only Flash there's ever been, and I still cannot fathom Ezra Miller as the Flash. But Grant just plays him so truthfully, and I just feel like Grant's personality fits with my ideal of what the Flash character is. The show was not afraid to make Barry seem like a very three-dimensional character. Like, I think Grant Gustin cries more than any other male on television right now.
But what was great for me, which was a touching moment for me, was when Earth 1 Barry was on Earth 2, and he looks at the phone and he sees Mom and Dad, and he's thinking about, like, calling, but then the phone rings and he just picks up, and the look on his face is just like, oh, I'm hearing my mom's voice. I haven't heard it in a long time, right?
Yeah. I just
and
find it's so real.
Great. Yeah.
It's such raw emotion that I think that Grant really brings and elevates the show to a new emotional level.
Mm-hmm. Emotional and hysterical.
Yeah.
Because he can be quite funny.
Yeah, I think he's a very comical character for sure. And actually, a lot of his jokes in season 2 really stuck out. And I loved when Cisco was being the lightning rod and basically was yelling, "Expecto Patronum!" That was my favorite.
Because it was a Harry Potter reference?
Yeah. One thing, too, that I really liked developing in the second half of the season was Harry and Cisco's relationship.
Mm.
You know, they started off when Harry comes in from Earth 2, he had a very rough relationship with Cisco, and with everyone, really. And as time went by, he, warmed up to Barry and to Caitlin and to Joe and Iris. But I really think that he struggled a while with Cisco. But then we start to see their banter really develop, and they sort of really become in sync with one another, which I thought was really fascinating to watch, and to see the two actors play that off as well. It was very, very good.
Yeah. Well, the icing on the cake for that is Harry does call him Ramon the entire season, until the very final episode where he's just like, "See you later, Cisco," and it's just like that heartfelt moment of, oh, he called me Cisco again.
Yeah. Oh, so sweet. One of the things I was thinking about a lot in the last couple of episodes is after Barry gets his powers back, or his speed back, having been drained by Zoom, we see that Wally and Jesse were hit with the same lightning or particles or whatever. But it doesn't seem like any powers have manifested within them.
Yet.
So yeah, I'm interested to see, are they there? Or maybe they're just dormant, they need to be activated by something. I personally thought that Jesse's were being activated when Barry goes to touch her and wakes her up from her coma. A coma which was very similar to what Barry went through before he woke up as the Flash.
So Barry Allen is the Flash on Earth 1. You find out that the doppelganger that looks like Henry Allen, who is actually Jay Garrick, is the Flash on Earth 3, and there's no Flash on Earth 2, but Jesse goes back to Earth 2, and Jesse's known as Jesse Quick, so it's potential that she might gain her powers there and become the superhero for that Earth.
Interesting. That would be really cool. I'd like to see a female Flash.
I don't know for Wally West, because he's Kid Flash, I don't know if he's going to stay with... Obviously, he's going to stay on Earth 1, but does he become Kid Flash and help out Team Flash, or we'll see what happens.
Yeah, interesting. So who do you think will be the villain for Season 3, though? Especially with the timeline shift. Do they all come back?
I don't know. Going back, if everyone's coming back, then did Grodd go into Earth 2? Is Grodd still on Earth 1?
Shit.
Right?
Forgot about Grodd.
So is the Reverse Flash the villain for this one? For Season 3? Because he knocked him out right away?
Well, a cool reference, too, that I saw someone point out, after the finale was that when the time wraiths come and attack Hunter's all in our Zoom, he becomes kind of deformed. His costume changes into what looks like the costume for Black Flash.
Right. I don't think it will be him though.
No?
Because we saw him. We were kind of, okay, we saw Zoom, he's going to be the Black Flash, yay. I think they're going to kind of push him away just to show that, oh, maybe he did vanish. And then he might come back for season 4 or season 5. I'd like to see a new villain though.
Yeah.
I want to see Grodd. I hope Grodd is in there as an actual bigger villain this time. So in the last couple of episodes of The Flash, Zoom tries to get Barry to actually kill Zoom. And Barry cannot. What I find interesting, though, is in the first couple of episodes, Barry actually kills the metahumans. So Barry has killed before. Why he can't do it now is beyond me.
It seems, though, when I think back on it, was he maybe killing them indirectly, though?
No, because the second one he kills, he actually throws that lightning bolt directly at him and it shatters him.
I guess so, yeah.
And the first one that he kills, he lures him into this atomic chamber, I'm going to call it, that gives off a lot of radiation, and they crank it up so he can soak so much of it in. So he does kill them.
But I think there's still a little bit of a difference, though, from that and then, like, using his hand and, like, slicing him open.
What would be that you're still killing somebody?
I mean, I guess so.
Like, rather I'm going, which, by the way, all of a sudden he learned to and go and chop, whatever. That's a different point. But from doing this and then just throwing a lightning bolt, it's still, like, technically it's still coming from his hand.
Yeah, that's true. We see a lot of the trope of, heroes feeling like they shouldn't kill and it's holding them back, and we've seen that a lot on Arrow recently as well. Until the season finale. But I think when it comes down to it, there's a bad guy and he's a threat. Sometimes the only way to get rid of them is to kill them, and you can't get around that, no matter how good of a person you are.
And you know whose theory that is? The Punishers.
Always with the Punisher jokes.
Season 2 of The Flash was great in my opinion. What did you think about it, Karrie?
I loved it. I think there were some slow moments, but I think that it really picked up towards the end, and I'm really looking forward to season 3.
And I will say, if you're going to watch season 3, watch season 1 and watch season 2 first.
Definitely.
Awesome. So that's all the time we have for today. I am Frank.
I'm Karrie.
Remember, click like to like us, and you can subscribe right here.
Right here.
Above
right
Karrie's
here.
knee.
Right here. Let us know what you thought about The Flash Season 2 in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I feel like Patty Spivot could be a girl that you just meet, like, walking down the street.
King Shark.
Oh, the gigantic shark thing that bust into their house?
Because that was pretty cool to see.
That was actually really intense.
Because for the first time, this was an actual, besides Grodd, this was an actual bigger kind of beast, whereas everybody else was just a typical, I can shoot stuff out of my hand.
Yeah.